Welcome to the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Story 1. On my 20th birthday I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me. Yesterday, the 27th, was my birthday. I woke up to write an email and get some work done while my girlfriend F19 stayed in bed for a while. Her phone was on my desk so I opened it up like she has to mine plenty. Now to preface, my brother passed away 7 weeks ago and I've been in a total slump since. Distant, irritable, completely unable to do schoolwork. I've always admitted to it and try not to bother others. However, my girlfriend has been off since then, too. She has been rushing for a sorority this semester and has been making new friends and whatnot, but just never talked to me like she used to for the past 2 years we've been together. I was suspicious and I suppose that probably why I opened her phone. I saw a message from another guy. "Hey, are you still up?" Okay, he's a classmate, needed homework answers at 11 p.m. before the assignment was due. So I opened messages and there were actually 3 messages that went unopened that night. I scroll through the messages and it's some kid she's spoken about from her past. He goes to college a few hours from us but lives in California. She even asked if she could go to California this summer to visit him. For the record, I said I wasn't her mother and she's old enough to go where she wants. What I saw, though, made my stomach turn. She was sending him screenshots of our messages talking about how I don't treat her right and he would if ever given the chance. He wants to come join her when she says she's gone to take a shower. Even saying I love you platonically. One of the messages suggested that they go to Snapchat. I wasn't able to see what was there because just the night prior she had gotten into her sorority officially and was added to a ton of group chats. She was added by a few dozen people and she added them back. Snapchat flagged her account and it got a perma-ban. Honestly, I'm blessed that this happened. I don't want to know what kind of shit I would have found if I were able to open her Snapchat. For the last 2 months I've been completely empty. I haven't had a will to live and these events haven't even made me feel sad, just emptier yet. I've fallen behind on schoolwork and only fall further behind. I'm gonna be dropping 2 of my 4 classes this term and don't even care anymore. I have no one to talk to now. The only person I talked to about my brother since it happened was her. I don't even talk to my parents about school because I'm first generation educated and they just don't get it. I feel nothing and was completely straight-faced writing this. I hope that cheaters know there's a special place in hell just for them. Edit. We were visiting my parents for the weekend and to celebrate, but at about noon, I made sure she ate. I confronted her and asked her to leave their house. She didn't even try to say a word. She took her pillow, which has stayed at my parents for about 8 months, and the pictures of her off the wall. I figured it was over. She's been texting me about her side and letting her explain, but I don't see a use. Clearly by the way she didn't want to fight, she picked that guy over me. Right? Story 2. In 2018, my girlfriend cheated on me, so I ended up marrying her. In 2018, my 24M girlfriend, 24F, of 3 years admitted that she had cheated on me. It was a long-distance relationship, which was already incredibly difficult, and we would make a drive every weekend to see each other regularly, usually never went more than 2 weeks without seeing each other. She had made a male friend at her university, and since I had female friends of my own, I didn't mind this. Well, after 1 weekend together, she had left my house to go back home, about a 5-hour drive. We always send a text when we make it back safely. She sent me the text, and I thought nothing of it and went to work that afternoon. Later that night, she calls me crying and tells me that she didn't actually go home and that she had went to her friend's house to hang out. She told me that nothing had happened between them. Of course, I was upset because she had lied to me, saying she made it home when she didn't. Within the next few weeks, I cooled down and made up with her. I didn't want to risk losing her, for I loved her deeply. I had already spent 3 years with her and had intended on proposing to her. We worked on building back trust, and at the end of 2018, I asked her to marry me. That's right, I was so worried about losing her that I proposed. Bad memories never go away, and it was eventually brought up again in 2019, about a year into our engagement. This time, she admitted to withholding information about the event, telling me that they had made out and that he had come to see her within the next few days, the period in which we weren't talking to each other while I was cooling off. Of course, I was even more upset at this point. I feel that anyone would have ended it there. Having already proposed to her, I decided to once again forgive her, dismissing the guy's behavior as him just being a bad guy that she shouldn't have trusted. In her confession, she had played the victim, saying he came on to her and all that. By 2020, we had worked hard to keep the relationship strong and finally got married during the summer. Only days before the wedding, she broke down and said, "I can't believe that you are still going to marry me after everything I did." I told her that it was in the past and I had forgiven her. We got married and that brings us to today in 2022, 2 years of marriage. I feel that our marriage is relatively happy, though we still don't see much of each other because we both work all the time. We have our ups and downs, all relationships have rough patches, right? But within the past year, I can't stop thinking about her cheating. Even though it was nearly 5 years ago, it still hurts very much. I said that I forgive her, but I am unsure if that is true. I really do love my wife, she's truly my best friend, but I can't be free from the pain of the past. I don't know what to do. I'm confident that she hasn't cheated since, but something about marrying my cheater just isn't sitting right with me. We married young and hastily, and I often wonder if it was a mistake. I always ponder that what if question. What if I had broken up with her when it happened? Surely my life would be different, but I wouldn't be constantly reminded of the pain that she brought me. Sorry for the large amount of text. Any advice or outlook would be appreciated. Story 3. My girlfriend of 6 years cheated on me. My 24F GF cheated on me, 25M, after 6 years. She works at a small cafe and is pretty close with her co-workers. There was one guy, another co-worker, we will call him Jim, that her other co-workers teased her about since the beginning, saying she would be cute with him, etc. She told me about this and we laughed because it was so ridiculous and they knew she was in a relationship. Fast forward a few months, he doesn't work there anymore, as he was only part-time so he wasn't there much anyways. For some background information, me and my girlfriend have always been extremely loyal to each other. We've had an overall healthy relationship and great communication. We are best friends and have been really content with each other. We resolve any issues that we have with each other all the time, so this came to a giant surprise to me. One of her co-workers is seemingly toxic, from what I've been told from my GF. I'll call this co-worker Jenny. She's 21. She's a girl who likes to party and do drugs, hook up with guys, etc., which is fine, but my GF is the opposite, so I found it interesting. My GF had been warned about this girl from her other friends because they said she's fake. My GF stayed on good terms with Jenny since they are co-workers and would sometimes hang out with her at bars or house parties. Anyways, my girlfriend had a birthday party at a bar a month ago. It was a party where she invited all of her co-workers. I didn't go because I didn't know her co-workers and it would be awkward because I don't really know them. I wanted to go, but I just took my girlfriend's word for it because I trust her and am not super into socializing anyways. I had fallen asleep and she came home around 2 a.m., went to bed and things were fine. She wakes up early, hungover, and tells me she made a mistake. I start getting anxiety because I knew exactly what she meant. She told me she kissed somebody at the bar, and that's the only details she had given me. Later that day she finally confessed it was her old co-worker, Jim. The one she had been teased about previously, and she has known him for like a year at this point. I was insanely hurt because cheating hurts, lol. She is not that kind of girl and I was super surprised this had happened. She gave me more details about Jim and apparently he had flirted with her a handful of times, at work parties and at work in general. She told me that he showed up at the party and then things just went from there. I believed her. After having my doubts about what she said, I ended up looking in her phone for a solid 2 minutes. I looked at the messages between my GF and Jenny because I had my suspicions about this girl, and I'm pretty glad I did. I found out that my GF actually invited Jim to her party at the bar. Jenny had told her to invite him, so my GF did. She was saying things like he said yes. I'm so nervous, I'm so excited, etc. So essentially, what I'm thinking is, I was lied to about this entire situation to save my feelings. Once I confronted her for these texts, she was so regretful and really upset about what she did. She cried and apologized over 100x and talked about how I'm the only guy she wants. I know it was wrong of me to look in her phone, but I had a gut feeling something was off with this entire situation. I know she regrets what she did so much and it's hard to see her upset, but I am deeply hurt by what she did. It's not even the kiss itself, it's the deception and lying to my face and planning something behind my back what hurts the most. We have had a great relationship and it is really upsetting to see what it's become. We've talked so many times about this situation and she has pleaded for my forgiveness, but this is not the first time she's hurt me. She hasn't cheated in the past, but she has done some things that have made me feel betrayed by her and this whole situation sucks. TLDR, girlfriend kissed one of her co-workers at a bar, confessed to me the morning after, but lied to me about how it happened. I looked in her phone and found out that she invited him to her party, but her previous story was that he showed up because he knew everyone there. Story 4. I am 24, just found out my GF, F24, of 8 years cheated on me a year and a half ago. Like the title describes, I found out my girlfriend cheated on me last night. I don't condone invading anyone's privacy, but I found out by snooping through her phone that a year and a half ago she had sex with her best friend's boyfriend. The friend and her boyfriend split up about 8 months ago, but they were in an open relationship when they were together, and what happened was agreed between the three of them. I also searched back to messages between my girlfriend and the guy at the time. She said some very hurtful things to him. Not negative things about me, but positive things about him and her experience with him. She's never seemed that into dirty talk over messaging with me, but was quite happy to tell him how great he was at ducking her. I don't get it, as she then shut down a further attempt from him to sleep with her again, even though the friend was apparently okay with it. So from what I can tell, this only happened once, but I'm completely heartbroken. She's pretty much the only girl I've ever been with and the only girl I've ever had sex with. I'm also torn up over the fact that I considered the guy to a friend of mine at the time, and definitely consider her best friend to be a good friend, as I've known her almost just as long as my girlfriend. I haven't confronted her yet, so any advice is appreciated. TLDR, I found out my girlfriend cheated on me a year and a half ago with her best friend's boyfriend at the time because they were in an open relationship. Update. Just wanted to give an update and thank everyone for their responses. I started ignoring her, so she knew something was up. I decided to just text her saying I knew what she did. She obviously started bombarding me with calls and texts, but I didn't respond, so she dropped a handwritten letter into my house. She didn't hold back in the letter and took full responsibility for it. Her friend came to her and asked her about the boyfriend, and she no at first, but eventually agreed because she was convinced I would never find out, and then once it happened she got caught up in it with the texts, but when he wanted to do it again she stopped it. She was selfish and a terrible person who made the biggest mistake of her life. She doesn't expect me to forgive her, but she loves me more than anything and hopes I'm able to heal. Basically it seems that she did because I'm the only person she's ever been with and wanted another experience. There was other stuff, but that was the gist of it. For what it's worth, I do believe this was the only time she's done something like this, but it doesn't matter, once is enough. As for her friend, she sent me a message apologizing, but I didn't respond to her either. All our friends know now, so she will have to deal with the fallout from that. I haven't seen the guy really since he broke up with the friend, but I was considering messaging him, but I don't know if I should bother. It annoys me that he gets away with no consequences. TLDR, I broke up with her and I'm considering messaging the guy.